Okay, the attraction to the Gartley pattern is this unique, and if you look up the word cipher, you'll see that it's a code, it's a secret, you know. And so you have all these patterns and you create this whole mystery, but in the end, this is nothing more than a up, down wave. So there's only 4 moves here, and on the line chart, so if you really are trading these Gartleys, I could show you how to do it for another $5 an hour. I could show you how to do it because think about it. When you come into the moment of entry, you're sitting at D. We're presupposing that when you see this chart, you're speculating that you're at D right now. Is it a good time to get in at the market right now to sell this? And this is the bearish Gartley, which means you're selling the bull trap. I'm assuming that you are going to sell here and you're going to ride it to targets that are well beyond here, and your conservative exit's going to be here, and your next exit's here, and you should probably have one that's like ungodly, right? Because if this was if you're in a downtrend and you see big down push, bounce, you know, a lot of people are buying C. Don't forget, this is a pretty good wave. So if from C to D, I'll take that trade. Now, I realize there's people getting in on the other side of that to go the way. You could do that, but I'm going to be psychologically demanding to say, well, I'll be buying in the morning and selling in the afternoon. And this is not most people's ability. If they're in so many positions in other currency pairs, maybe it's just too much to manage, and you want to hire a team of front girls, you know, of back office gorgeous women to work it back there. Same thing in the bullish Gartley. I'm assuming here we're in an uptrend. In other words, this is a triangle taking place in a larger context. If you have like an Akanashi bot, say your one period is over on top of your one period's on top of the 3-period moving average, and you're just going up in a kind of a goofball way. We're going up. I don't know, but we're going up. Now you're looking for this on any time frame that you can find. 1 hour, 15-minute, but every time that you switch time frames, you got to realize the ride for that Gartley. You got to get out here. Regardless. Now, that you may be a Gartley inside of a Gartley inside of a Gartley. Now, if you can stack these guys up, and this is like standing waves. You know, the idea of the Gartley pattern is a harmonic, right? My only contention is that the market's giving you a harmonic that is organically distorted. It is not a perfect 1618, right? It's not this stuff. There's a skew. If you go to the Chicago Board of Trade, it's called the skew index. Markets are like, you know what, it's a little bent, but you can still see the box theory, and this is really a 3D. When I connect the dots here, what I see is, if this was a box, now this is the speculation, this is where it's giving you this panel. Okay, so this is the speculation windows around price, and so your original price is nothing more than, here's where it's difficult, because if you're not into 3D stuff, it went up, it went down, it went up, it went down, and you're putting this into the formula. Now, can you see the three-dimensional nature of that? If you start to block off and shade, you know, if this stuff's, but there's also the fact that it's just auction market. Now you shade these in, now you can see, oh, I could see, well, here's the bat wing, it's pointing this way. Now these are just nothing more, all you're doing is stacking up triangles. This is what the market's doing, and here is the rooftop. Like, I'm seeing this as a really poorly, this is like a perspective box where this is in the distance, this is up front, right? This is angled back. You're looking at wedges, I mean, it's no different than if you just went and started to make artwork. And you just said, oh, well, I see the market's going down these panels. Like if the market's marching down, that's what Renko charts, right? So however you see this stuff, but how do you trade this stuff, for God's sakes? Well, if this is supposed to be a bullish Gartley, then this is supposed to be the correction. You're getting in at the stop hunt of these bulls that have gotten in with their stops here, and you're going to buy them off them, and your stop is here. So here's your window of entry. So if you're really doing it, you're going to take the apex of this, you're going to go just plain old back in time here, and maybe there's actually a place, a real structure point to place your order on. And the unlazy trader is going to put buy limits here. He starts to gobble up D as it happens. So you should already be long this pattern. If you step up to the screen and it happens to be on D, the idea of this whole thing when you're looking at it right now, unless you keep redrawing this as things unfold and now it turns from a cipher into a batwing or a butterfly, whatever have you. How about a bird? How about an eagle that hit a car, right? So one of the flaps, like that's really what this kind of skewed this smaller right trigger. Now you could get really carried away, right? You could come up with your own names, really. You could have the bullish wingdings, or take pictures of stuff in your house. Remember the cup and handle trade? Whenever people talk about cup and handle, I said, well, I have a mug and handle trade. It's a little bit wider stop. The mug and handle trade involves like a lot of orders, right? And here's the handle, and I always wondered, well, where are you getting in on the cup and handle? Well, and a lot of people would get in on the handle. I'm like, can't we buy the cup too? So cup and handle, all the same thing. Like there's only 12 notes, right? And most music out there is just built upon the blues, which is just the core. I mean, just give me 2 notes. I mean, most of the biggest hit songs in the world got 4-note melodies, and it's mind-boggling, right? 4-note melody. It's very difficult to play because it's woven back and forth, and there's pauses and there's stuff happening underneath. It's a simple world. And X, of course, right? This is 0. This is why I said there's an issue with. There is no 0, so shouldn't this be? But people have to, like if you have a ruler, you always have 0, and then you have 1. So your lowest increment, and then you got 2, but if you do fibs, then you're going to go 0, 1. This is going to go 3. This is going to go 5, and what it is it's the extension. But what do you do about it? And if you're too conservative, your buy limits are here to retest this, they never get filled. So certainly there is a window. Now this window, if you put another triangle on top of that, see how you can, I don't know if anybody's into drawing 3D objects, but I'm seeing this as a 3D object. And this is like this is this is the side of the house where there's windows, and now this is the rooftop, right? And this is the front of the house, and we're going to put in a panel here because there's a cross member here. See, now you can start to, we're going to put this here. There's no end to it, right? And here's more windows. This is a modern house, or maybe this is the bottom of a cone, and then we dot this side to give us this 3D thing. Now you could sit here all day, and then you could say, well, if I've gone too far beyond reality and I've lost perspective, that in essence the markets are boring as hell. I feel like Bill Whittle. The markets are boring as hell, and we just have to face this fact. And let's not overcomplicate this. Now I'm gonna rifle through some of these things because these numbers here are hurting my brain. Like this 886, I'm thinking that's a better lottery number to bet. I've never actually seen that fib number, And maybe this is what happens when you do the math against the 127s. But this is literally too much. And these could actually be, well, I don't know. If you take Fibonacci and do like, and I've got this stuff all drawn out here. I'm trying to hook up with coders and build a trading bot that's basically very elaborate, very just based on volatility. Because what if this is a so you could build a Gartley bot very easily, and what it would entail is that the robot keeps dropping in an uptrend. The robot keeps dropping buy limits after the last crossover, because you don't want to put buy stops here. You're risking too much, and you want to get in the sweet spot, right? But the problem is that what if this is 100 pips up? 100 pips up. This is 60 down, 40 up, 60 down, and you're to maximize the margin in your account to go from 200 to 800 like that kid did. And you can do these trades and you can set these schemes up. And it sounds really bad that you're scheming. All the language, in the middle of this Mark Douglas seminar, he gets out a chalkboard and he says, or just ink, that magic marker thing on the whiteboard, and he says, look at these words. Are these triggers for you? And this whole thing about scheming and but not that there's anything wrong, like Gartley patterns, not that there's anything wrong with it. But let's take into account how we're projecting what we want to see, these delicious patterns, but how do we get in? And according to this, I'm going to assume this is from Investorpedia. God knows, right? This is what's going on here. I don't have Mr. Gartley on the phone, but so let's go to the next image and let's hunt down some type of let's see, I guess I blew through my list there. Unfortunately, in drawing mode, I can't get to the next image. So let's just rifle through all the now this one I'm seeing way more 3D. This one I'm seeing the box because there's a thinner line, and I'm seeing it here. Now they actually do have the targets here. So what you're supposed to do on these trades is, this bullish is a bear trap entry, but it does you no good unless you've got, and I would say on this one, this is what I'm talking about on the entries on a daily chart, is the buy stops are here. If you were here right now, when you look at this right now, if you're not long right now, you're screwed. You got to start getting long now on D. Buy stops here though, and hopefully, when we were at C, you had buy limits here. If you didn't get in big enough, and maybe your stop is just below X, so yeah, your entry windows here, got to load the wagon is beautifully as you can, and hopefully in a logarithmic Fibonacci compression. If you just write a script that buys 5 pips deep, 8, 13, 21, and of course I'm not doing it properly, it's going to get wider as it goes down. You take that Fibonacci and invert it, and the math here is a little difficult, and I had to actually write it on paper, because what you're going to do is you're going to buy a logarithmic compression entry in scripts that looks like, in other words, you can hand place them, right? And when you hand place them, it's going to be like, I'll buy here, but as you get down here, these are the fattest orders. Here's your baby orders. The baby order targets are something like, say, here to C, conservative, right? You got to pay the rent, just in case you're wrong. And you've got scalps that are going to get in. Now, some of these are scalps that are going to get in. The first buy limit here, some of these are going to be like, well, we'll just get out here, and one gets out here, right? It's very complicated, and you really do want to pick different prices if you can within a 13 pip range here. If you're Fibonacci, got a Fibonacci fetish, you just have a 13 pip range, right? And you break this stuff down, and your stops are say 21 pips. Then you also have well, I'll buy here for a scalp to here, and one for a move to here, and one for a move to here, and then you have the outlandish ones to here, and the outlandish ones to retest of A, and if you're lucky, they clear the trees. Now, if this is a 15-minute setup, and this is why, if you are trading Gartleys, forget candlesticks, because you need to scan for the 15-minute setups, the half hour, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, blah, blah, blahs. You see it coming in. This is nothing more than, now in the world of, this is a correction. It's really just an ABC correction, isn't it? But for Elliott, well, you're coming at a C down leg. This is a wave 3 for Elliott, and here's this correction. So this is the end of wave 4. This is the end of wave 4 bullish. This is the triangle. This is Elliott's fourth wave. The bullish Gartley is Elliott's fourth wave. Now, the way we get into this has to be on the clock. It has to be on limits. It has to be on... Now, if we're already down at D when we look at our screen, and this hasn't happened yet, the dots represent the future. Put buy stops here. Unless, if you're not in big enough, put buy stops here, and you're like, oh yeah. And you know that the daily's trend is up because every candle is up. Every bar is up, 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 up on the daily. Now, how do you get on a move that on the 1 hour looks like this? You have to go to a line chart, have your finger on the trigger, or have a robot dropping buy limits below this to pick this up, to cash out maybe 25, 50% of the position, ride the rest, or maybe you're going to have a stop here, and it's going to be... Now, this is all has to be to make a ton of money. This kid made $600. I don't know how long it took him. But we've all done this. We've all had amazing... We go, oh my God, what did I just do? Now, when you put two... Well, now this guy... These harmonic traders are putting two like triangles on there. And what they're saying is, this is the Batwing, right? This is this. This is this. But we really don't care. I actually look at this as like a cartoon. This is the eyeballs. This is the glasses they're wearing. This is their nose. This is their head. This is the hair on their head. This is like an evil... This is the market. This is how evil the market really is. And it's all rigged, and they're smiling all the way to the bank. Hee hee. Did you get stopped out? Hee. Okay, sorry. But seriously, I just don't want to go there. It's bad enough I've got to write a script for selling... I guess we're selling this Batwing, but no, these are the Batwings, or this is what creates a cipher is these two legs. But dragging this out here, kind of, this actually doesn't matter. What matters is you've trapped somebody. You trap the bears, which means it's a bullish. It's just let's go up, right? Another thing is. A trend line here, but that trend line is going to go across if your Gartley's. To me, it's just, my head, it's hurting, and of course here you can put a trend line here, but as soon as you do that and square that off, now it does start to look like you could just sit here all day and just go off and fantasy. Ideal Gartley pattern, right? Ideal, but markets aren't too. But the concept makes total sense to me. Now, if somebody said to me, "Well, this is how you trade a Gartley." Basically, what a Gartley is, and if you had to tell somebody, you go, listen, draw 1, 2, 3, 4 lines draw 4 zigzags for me. Now just take anybody off the street, give them a pencil, and say, draw 4 zigzags for me. And when they get done, depending on how they do it, say they only go like this, they go, well, now what, right? So, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is that? If the pattern's this, they're saying 1, 2, 3, 4. But what if this was really big, and then this came back here? And there are indicators out there. You can get indicators that actually write out into space all the possibilities, just like this. So how does this resolve after? What if this move never happened, this up move, and then we went down, and then we went up into here? Are you willing to sell that? Or are these people being trapped inside of another Gartley? So you can see the problem there. And not to mention that to just go around willy-nilly, and no doubt that if you've got a 20 pip and a 40 pip stop, and that's how you're going to live your life, but some of those 40 pip stops have about 200 pip profit, and you just place all those buy limits here as the market's crushing down. And when you see that you're not in big enough, and you're already scalped out of something within here, and say this is the daily chart, right? You have to find this to enter this. You have to be on this. Now, this happens quite often on a 5-minute, but a lot of them are going to be like, you know what? Market didn't do this. It blew out this stop. It kept going. It is not bearish. And are you going to buy on the pullback to here and submit to what's really going on? Or are you going to say, back to the drawing board, like, you know, Clyde Crash Cup and Leonardo, back to the drawing board? You had to love that, right? Leonardo, Clyde Crash Cup, and Leonardo just whispered in his ear, you never heard Leonardo, Clyde Crash Cup. That was the best. Sorry for all you people that watch modern stuff, but God, Clyde Crash Cup. But there definitely there's got to be a scheme how to get in here. And another thing is trading on the clock, right? So every moment this spends underneath here, you've got to be pulling the trigger. So you're getting in at the market. Every moment it's down, this is your master stop. You've got limits in here, and if you didn't buy enough at the market, and you feel like, you know what, I don't want to have to babysit this puppy, put a buy stop here, because you know that if it rejects this bottom is supposed to become a top. So the failure of this pattern is it does come back here and it takes off. Now, if you're Bill Williams, you've got a buy stop here in case you're wrong, and then you go. Turns out it's not going down. So the idea that there's some type of, it gets very complicated very quickly, because you need trade plans for every one of these scenarios. Or you're just going to get kicked out and you have to wait for the next setup. Now, you're willing to jump to the next time frame, but I say keep it to a line chart. You can trade Gartleys with a line chart. You can trade any. Come on, why are you people using candles? I don't get it. You cannot mix oil and water. Maybe oil and vinegar, right? You're trying to make a salad, but we can all see the bubbles. We can all see the problem. You have to pick a team to be on. You cannot just switch and turn into a girl. You cannot go Bruce Jenner. I'm sorry. You're, remember parquet commercials? Nobody likes to fool Mother Nature. You know, Mother Nature doesn't appreciate being fooled, and I guess this is all the tree huggers. Oh my God, they're poisoning all the young kids. Voting for Bernie Sanders? Really? The first Jewish Hitler, right? Great. We're really in good hands. Oy vey. Right? Go to the next one here. So I'm just trying to and forget X, Y, B, Z, blah blah blah. There's a 618. Dude, this doesn't matter. It says ideal. The world is not ideal. It's a heartbreaker. Tell me about it, right? All my girlfriends have one eyeball. So this is the reversal Gartley. But what do you do about this shit? And here's the same entry. You're gonna buy D. What is the reversal? This is the same thing I just saw. Is it just me? Maybe be very careful with this Gartley stuff. You place the same order, style of order, right? This is supposed to be the profit move. I'm hoping I'm getting this right. And you're setting up for another Gartley you're going to sell here. Come back to here. But look at this, line charts. You don't see candlesticks, do you? Why are Gartley people even trading with candlesticks? You're screwing up the whole point of it. Trust me. I show you bat wings all day long. On the line chart. I'm not going to do that drawing tool. I would just build it with line charts, right? We see the box, right? We see the 3D. But you're building stuff underneath, right? You're building the truss of the bridges, but the price never went there. The trusses on my bridges, the price actually went there. Who knows, right? Maybe you got to take this triangle and then jump down to the time frame and go, look, it's painting inside the. Okay, right. Double top. This is really, what kind of Gartley is that? There's got to be. Gartley's a correction, apparently. Reversal. Gartley seems like a wave 4, really. It's an explanation of. I mean, it's an entry on a wave 2 or a wave 4. Wave 2 before 3. 3 is supposed to be the biggest wave, so it's a complex 2 correction than 3, or it's 4, really. It has to kind of be 4 because it's kind of complex, and then it resolves. Reversal, but this is actually bullish scenario reversal. Yeah, continuation. So they're saying bullish. So, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing as what we just saw. So apparently this is trend continuation theory Gartley. Maybe that's why these guys are talking that language. I'm learning something every day. But every time, and I could show you where, I'm showing you where you would, what style of order you place and how you would do it in real time if you were presented with, you're at D. You've just broken out into new lows and everybody's thinking, oh, well, guess what, you're wrong. So it's a trap. Now here is lower degree projections. Now it's starting to get complicated. And this is the trading bullish Gartley pattern. So I don't know, maybe you're getting in. Oh yeah, is D there? So here's a question mark. Is that D? Are we at D? So as D is happening, we don't care. If you're really going to trade this Gartley crap, you've always got buy limits here. You don't care if this is D. You've got your stops here. You're willing to buy all the way into here. How do you get in? Well, we haven't gotten down there yet, so it's all limits. There's no other choice in this. This is like when the guy castles, you're playing chess and the guy castles. It's over. You're locked out. He's not going to uncastle. He can't. So I understand when you say it's over, you have to commit to that trade that it's over. Maybe it's not over. But this scenario here, if you're a Gartley trader, this is how you got to trade it. This is a free video for Jason Greystone to let him make some money finally, instead of leaning on these empowered people. How do you manage these people? And another thing is, this isn't mentioned what's going on here, but buy limits on this, right? High probability to come back to this pivot. Got a trend line coming in here. Maybe you're gonna. That's the question. Are we at D? I get it. There's a trend line here. There's people that will not buy unless you break this. And then they'll buy the pullback to here, and then they're off to the races. But surely you want to load the wagon in here. Of course. Could you be wrong? You get blown out. Yes, all day long. So this is Gartley pattern stuff. This is completely they're just zigzags. Some guy discovered, oh, look at this is the trap. Is this a Gartley pattern just like this? Yeah, this was D. Right? Why doesn't it say that? It says 5. This is Elliott. I guess this is the Elliott wave. But this is D. Right? This is the big money maker. And then a trap. This is D again. It's D to D. Then it comes back. Now, if you're really a Gartley trader, yeah, D to D, a lot of money there. Come back to fair value. A. So this is, and then look at the baby A inside the B. Yeah, because you get alternate counts, right? But if you're a Gartley trader, you've got sell limits up here that never got filled. Because you're anticipating this trap. You always got limits. And it wouldn't matter. Because buy limits here is you're trapping D to rip the other way. Obviously. So, but are you at D? Who cares? Let the market prove you right. Put your buy limits down here, get filled, but don't just buy one order. The one order is going to be the scalp into the previous floor. The next one would be the conservative target to get on fair value in here, the greedy targets here, the ultra greedy targets here, and then on and on and on. And if this is a bullish Gartley instead of a Gartley instead of a Gartley, the explosion is going to be an enormous explosion. It's going to explode. They're going to blow up the planet, right? It's the end of the world. Now, it all started here, but it's not going to go in a straight line. It's not going to. There's going to be more Gartleys along the way. Do you have the tactics to jump in and out, boom, and you actually not have to whip out a fib tool and a forget that fib stuff. This is bad enough. Well, bad enough to try to figure out, is your D wave my C wave, or is your number 2 wave is my D wave? In other words, if you're an Elliottologist, 2 is the pullback setting up for the big whoop move. So there's an E wave. In Gartley, there has to be an E. Right? So this is E. After you fill, if this is D, this is E. And E is 3 in Elliott wave. I'm already confused. But see what I mean? Big wave is either C for Elliott, it's 3 for Elliott, 3 is his up, C is his correction. Gartley said, well, I'll make ABC my correction too. His D is the end of wave 4 for Elliott in the uptrend. His D is a complex ending of it's the end of C. If this is big enough, and they got 2 C's here, so C to C to C, right? But this is why this is literally for Gartley, this is his D to a D. And this is where people get in giant fights. And of course, this is the classic momentum rollover inflection point. And some people are just buying fair value. Now, as this is plunging, I'm putting in buy limits because I'm going to be buying here. But this kind of dancing with the market, you don't want to get too wrapped into the fact that you see these 2 triangles as a butterfly, because now you're going to start thinking about, is it a monarch butterfly? Those are so pretty. And this is the problem, but you can get out, you can print these charts out, even these, and this is why you need to print a line chart of the real world charts. These kind of, and it doesn't say idealized here, so they have enough garbage before these setups to show you what stuff's really like. And all the cycle traders, don't forget, they are thinking about the fact that we're nailing this at a rhythm, right? that all these peaks and valleys have some type of, they're not stacked on top of each other. So there's that going on. Then there's the moving averages have finally turned over, and people are having like perfect entries on their 8-period moving average. Look at that. Look at the market respect my moving average. Yeah, it just happens to be falling in line. The suspension on your car just happened to save you from running over the neighbor's dog. It's just today only. Tomorrow you'd be aiming at that dog. But yeah, the big turnaround. But how do we maximize the money is buy stops here if we're here and we're not in big enough. So we have to trade hard. We have to trade big. When necessary, we need to put the pedal to the metal. There's not too many times when you're going to have to drive your car like that. And of course, they're exhausted runs. These things, it's over. Bail out. Maybe you do go short and you go long. And it's... If you're bullish or bearish, if you feel like you're getting whipsawed, because it's like, baby don't hurt me. Saturday Night Live at the bar with these guys belly bucking these girls. I mean, you just feel like you're just a tool. It's rope-a-dope. But you gotta grab your money and run, and stay away from the candle charts, because you're never going to see the Gartleys. The Gartleys that these guys are drawing are so far out that this could be D somewhere in here. You can't do that. You can't. You have to trade this batwing that you're right at right now in the time frame you're in, because you need to be able to see your first exit to pay the rent, your next exit to pay for the color TV, your next exit is going to pay for your your inflatable doll. And this one's going to be for if you ever, with this stuff, you just let it go. And the day traders are cleaning up on this stuff. Imagine this is the 1 hour chart, and then everything ends up here. So, yeah, of course, Gartley patterns, they work if you work them. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous, right? It works if you work it. Now here, how are you going to trade it? Now look at this D here. This bullish bat, we can already see that the trade plan for this needs to be, if you're going to take the distance between here and here, this would be, you're already getting your ass kicked. Like, if you chose the strategy of the other one where you start buying on limits as you start crushing through here, if this is too many pips, and you're really, because you don't know when D's going to end up being, it's got to be somewhere in here, because if your master stop is on X, and or you have a progressive stop, like a logarithmic stop down here, and then so you got stop zone, multiple orders, just like you're building, like literally you're filling a room with 1,000 dominoes, and you're going to watch this thing unfold. And but it's a lot of work, but it's amazing, right? And so maybe you are getting stopped out of these as it plunges down. And finally here, and I don't see E here, you don't see him extrapolate E to where this is supposed to go. And maybe the idea here is that you buy C, God knows. I don't even know what's going on here, right? And if it's that, it's nothing more than a retest entry. But it's all about how much are you bearish Gartley. Well, apparently it's not a bearish trade, because here the trade is obviously here, but I guess the idea is that E wave is going to go down. Retracement patterns for who? Retracement patterns. Well then, you mean this is the retracement? Yeah, you're trading that wave. I just watched some guy today talking about this trading, how to trade a Gartley. I mean, I'm already confused. Okay, like, it's a bearish bat, but bullish bat. It looks like the big move is down here. I know we're supposed to buy here, but see, this is the problem. We don't know when D is going to enter. These are steep. This bullish Gartley, I guess the bats mean that there's more volatility. I guess I'm going to assume that this is Elliott's C wave. It's more of a C wave correction, or a wave 3 in a downtrend. Gotta have a trade plan for this stuff. Here looks like, I don't know. I want to see that E wave. Just more nonsense. Same thing. Well, you're trying to. They don't say what direction that's in. Okay, here's the classic. Now, this is what this Greystone guy's doing. Is he's got two different targets, but it has to be more better than that. To me, it's like this. If I did buy D, and I didn't get unfilled on these orders, hopefully I'm cashing out on my first scalp at B, and God knows what that fib number is. And then, yeah, I got exits here, exits here, exits here, exits here, exits all the way up. Hopefully, you've done it right, and you've gotten it in very dense orders all the way to here. You had pendings, and some filled, some didn't. And you ride, forget that, right? You're riding all the way out. But maybe you're out of 50% of your position by here. Maybe you're out of 70% of your, you're done. You're already, and don't ever move your stops to break even. That's so stupid. If this is a true pattern, let it go. Nothing, not coming back. It's never coming back. If this is a real bearish cipher, we are not coming back. Maybe not even to, the sellers are going to come in here if they're lucky when it comes back up, right? They'll also come into any one of these levels, but it's like, how do you trade all that crap, right? On the way down. I'm talking about one price pulse trade here. Wave E, get out. It's over. If this stuff really works, and do zigzags really work, and you've just come up with a fancy name for a zigzag. That's all you've done here. So here you've at least got the ABCD patterns, and I think we've stepped out of the world of Gartleyness and all that nonsense. Just overdoing it, you know. So how would you make money in this? Or maybe these are ciphers or whatever the fuck. I mean, it's just ABCD patterns, but E is the money. It's really an ABCDE pattern, isn't it? Come on, people. It's actually an XA because you have X. So let's not lie to ourselves. And here is a nice. Now this is when you're in an uptrend. This is the classic signal. Say that C pullback here. Here's where RSI is oversold, and then RSI goes up. Your RSI is riding underneath this on the lower panel. So here's the 2-period or whatever. This is a very quick entry, ideal ABCD pullback. But for me, the trade is going to be this. It's a high probability trade. Is that you have oversold RSI here, and then RSI goes up with the market here, and then RSI is more oversold, and the price is higher. This is your entry because of this inversion. So you're actually getting in here. So one man's bullish is another man's bearish. That's why it's so ridiculous. It's all about, this is your trade plan, and this is you don't have to backtest this because the market proves you right every time. Like, you're gonna know if we don't go below A is the other guy's X. Your target is conservative exits here, and your greedy exits here on the trap. And so now the idea is, can you trade the correction into the D, and maybe E is going to take all the way and blow out and keep tanking. And so depending what time frame you're on and how long these waves take, it depends that, right? I don't know if this is bullish or bearish. Oh, these are all bearish, right? But look at this. This is where the money's at. The D wave is a tremendous amount of money. This is a kind of a range trade, because when we come back to here, now they're trapping these guys for the Gartley going the other way, right? This is D. E becomes D. You're offset by 1. So you keep on ratcheting into the next pattern. Obviously, this has to be D of an ABC, ABCD. So you see, this is like the circle of fifths, right? You get lost in this stuff. The question is, can you instantly look at a chart and go, bam, I'm going to trade that. There's the setup. We're in. No, but how do you do it? Do you buy every hour it's tanking? So maybe you bought here, you have buy limits to start here, and then when you're down here, you're like, I'm not in heavy enough, let's put buy stops here, honey. We got to buy a new car, and you're like, wow, we were hog long. And some of these, you've had at least the planning, and this planning and this back testing. Do you really have to need a back test a 10 pip stop that makes 20 pips? You don't need to back test orders. The market is nothing but execution of your orders. You're mixing up money management, and then the positive expectancy. Are you nuts? If you're risking 13 pips to make 40 pips, that's a positive expectancy built in. That's the trade plan. These are all micro trade plans built into, and so you have to, you're looking for that entry. You need to pay for the exposure. Hopefully you're scalping on some of this stuff. And people are like, well, I couldn't scalp. Yeah, single-minded. It's going up. I'm looking for a place to get it. I got my 618. I'm in 100. I'm in a 5 standard lots on 1 ticket, and I'm going, okay, maybe you're driving a Rolls Royce, but wouldn't you rather have somebody that you hire for $5 an hour to split that order down? Like, who's ordering? There's that restaurant in, what is it, Texas, where you order these burgers that are so big, if you can eat it, it's free. Are you kidding me? Like, that's, talk about overeating, overeating. Is there any, like, correlation? The Gartley within the Gartley, right? You would drill down to the fractal, but no discussion of trade plans from this Greystone. He's like, oh yeah, get in here. But dude, you know, you've got to take something off the table. Well, maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's and there's an E-wave. Nobody told me about the E-wave here. I'm learning about it today. Oh, here's a real world example. Okay, now let's look at how this guy rigged up this thing. This is where I have a big problem with you're projecting on top of this. You're building your Gartley here when isn't the Gartley really wasn't the trade that this is D? Like, look at the line chart. You know, A, B, C, D. They trap D. This is B. You're buying into this. You scalp to that. You let the rest ride. That completes this cipher. This Batwing. Where the fuck Gartley, right? You missed it. This is D. Right, this is D. You buy here. You get out here on something. You let the rest ride. You sell here now. But how do you explain this thing on the ride down? Was this D? Wasn't this D? It was probably D on something. But look at how big this D is. Now, when it's way out here, you're also missing this one move here, which you don't see. There's no mention. It's not an ideal world, so you're cherry picking this chart. Why wasn't your cipher like right? I mean, which beat did you ignore? And then we got this thing up here, and so what does this mean? We could have still sold up here. We could have still sold up here again and again and again. You can sit there and put these guys on it and go, look at, well, this is D. You want to be loading on D. Buy stops here. You're always assuming if this is B, this is D, C, correction. It's only like this. You can't put, you can't. People are doing it, right? It's the market's like this, or it's like this. I mean, how many different things can happen? Oh, it went up. Double top. This is D. You're selling here. Right, there's 4 waves. A, B, C, D. I almost got it. This is one bat wing. Here's the other bat wing. This bat wing, the problem with the Gartley thing is this bat wing is like this, right? Now here's the other bat wing. But this is just, you're getting in at the handle of the cup, aren't you? I almost got it. Please hold. I almost got it. Wait. A, B, C, D I sell here, and we write it down here. So, right? This is... we can start anywhere on A. It doesn't matter. A, B, C, D. We get in here. Here's the bat wings, right? You get in here. What about the top? Up, down. So A, B, C. Well, D. Here was your bullish entry. Bullish Gartley. You buy this stop hunt to here. Your limits are below that. But you have to do wax on, wax off. You have to go line chart back to candlestick. If you're on this candlestick kick, and it's a lot easier if you just go bar chart, 1 period moving average on top of a bar chart, and just make the 1 period moving averages fatter. This way the Gartleys will jump out at you, and you won't have to strain your brain to find that you want to buy D. And you're going to ride E, apparently. Right? E's where the money's at. See here, E, right? Buy. Buy D, E. Now here's a clean example, and this is a line chart again. Just say no to candles. So here's your entry trap. Now this entails more work. Buy. Just keep scaling into that puppy. Buy, 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 buy. With your stop below X, and you're committed to buy right up to the last 10 pip window here. But your order bank consists of this, and you laid that puppy in. And your first scalp is to here, to B, the bottom of B, and then you just start scaling out as it goes up. By here, maybe you're out of the whole position. It's a beautiful world. You let it unfold, you scale out. Now, if you want to take 10% off here and let it rustle, and it's totally up to you. The rate of scale out is just a comfort level of like how deep, like these bicycles you can buy that have a suspension, how deep are the shocks? Can you ride over, like, can you jump off a bridge with this bicycle and just survive that's basically scaling in and out. Can you survive riding a bull for 8 seconds? And in Forex, this bull has a hemostat on his nuts and he's on meth, right? So that's very tough to ride. And yeah, it's, Gartley, sure. But it's still going to be, do I buy at the market? Are we at D? Do I put a stop above B? So your sell stops are above B there. Oh jeez, I just went to the damn site here. That's the question. Let's go to the next. This looks like a low risk trade, but this is the stop hunt. So yeah, I get it. Okay, but is this really necessary? Okay, it's a zigzag. For God's sakes, people. This is E. You're killing me. That's E. bullish Gartley. So the guy said in the other video, like, well, why aren't you trading these waves? Because he says it's too difficult. Is it? This is a D. On the smaller time frame, that's a D. That's the E. The D to E. I guess, right? Am I getting it? Am I Gartley certified yet? Now here you go. This is the setup I drew earlier with that line. That's your entry zone. But it's how big do you get in these things? And 80 pip stop on one ticket? Wow. That's a steep looking one. And it just triggers stuff. Ooh, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. So if you had orders in, like, imagine that your density of your biggest sized positions are right in the core of this. And you have micro lots here. These are minis. These are standard lots. These are minis, and these are micros. As this thing comes into the D zone, this is your massive pack of orders. But since you don't know how far D is going to go, sometimes we only come into this window and then it's off to the races. So a way to capture this is buy limits here, and as time goes by, you're buying on the clock here, so you're loading into this, plus you have your ultimate blowout stop, but the density of your orders fills in here, and now you're playing where you could literally get out of some here inside of that thing, and you could get out of the whole position by here right now and just say, you know what, I got in so heavy on D and I bailed before, and I'm out. The other school of thought is that I'm in, say, half of my allotted, the market only plunged in and filled 75% of the bank, and I'm out at 20% here, and I let 50 go to here, and I let 75 go to here, I let 100 go to here. And this is what separates the men from the girls, is because the girls, if you told the girls, do this, they'd do it. You tell a guy that, and he's, why don't you just get out here? And we always have to ask, why don't we just get out? If that was in, now this could be a monthly trap where, and this is just like, these are really just bear traps. When I see bullish Gartley, I'm just going to think it's a bear trap, right? Just how to call it out. They're trapping the bears. They think it's going to keep tanking. It broke out down. It's going down. You were so wrong. And they're gonna grab them, and they're gonna take they're gonna break a leg off in their ass. You know, they're gonna make it hurt. Now here is D. Here's E is the wave you want to be riding in these Gartley setups. But how do you know if you're on D? And you don't. So here was here's a D trade that I guess failed. If you sold this, right, that failed. Then you sold this as your D, but we never quite got there. Here is, as D's forming, you're selling beyond B all the way sell. You even have and maybe your master stop here or a master stop here. And you sell, and you take your scalp here. See the scalp to the kickback, because it may keep going. D may not be there yet. And even after D's filled, you're scalping to this top. You see your scalp exit would be to here, pre-programmed that you sell on a limit here on D to get out on the last known top, whatever letter that is, the alphabet. And so you got your scalp locked in. You're taking something off the table. You're still in. And then your next target's going to be, well, this. And then your next target's going to be, oh, I know they're going to go after this guy. We get out here. We get out here. We get out here. And now maybe this is D to the B. This is B. This is now D. And we're loading the wagon the other way. We're going to scalp to here, and we're going to start doing the same thing on the way back, getting out at these floors that should become ceilings. That's the way I'm looking at it. So the question for Gartley traders is, are we at D right now? Is this D? Or should I scale into below B and build a position in the D zone? Now that's another thing is the density of orders as you come into these traps. But putting the Gartley too far out into space means you're not going to get enough activity off of this concept of getting in on a trap, getting in on a correction. I don't think you're going to maximize it. I guess this is supposed to be D down here, and this is supposed to be X here. So I'd say this is a terrible, this guy is not a good Gartley trader. Right? He drew his Gartleys wrong. So you can already tell what's going on here. You can see it now. At least from the standpoint of what this guy did, this should be his X. This should be his B. This is his D. And his stop is, say, at X. And he's getting in here. This is E. He's got this nonsense all the way back to here. God knows why. If he had a line chart, he would never have this problem. Because you can see this is a D. There's a Gartley here. He should be long. So he's extrapolated way too far out into this thing. This is a D to make the E, because this is B of this Gartley. And this is the D trap here that makes the E. There's a lot going on in here. Can't really zoom in on this damn thing, but I get it. But they're doing it. You can't stretch these things out into psychotically, like, to try to make it look pretty on the chart and get the triangles big. Forget about it. Zoom into this thing. You can see the D. You want to get on the D here, on the D list. Isn't there that chick, that comedian, the D list? See these wicks? That's B. This wick is D. You need to have your buy limits on that. I mean, okay, hopefully it's painfully obvious, right? I'm gonna try let the computer try to zoom in for me here. See, this is D. This wick is D. Here's the Gartley. This is what I'm complaining about. If this was a 5-minute chart, like, yeah, okay. But you don't need to. You could be on the daily chart or the 4-hour chart and just say, dude, this is B. We're looking for D. And your stop's here. You're looking to make X. You can't. This is like you switch time frames. This is based on such a giant. This is D to the B. C, D. A, right? A, B, C, D. E is going to be your launch pad. That's plenty of money. This is a D of some other magnitude inside. I think so. Don't take my word for it. Backtest everything. So that's when Elliott does the wave inside the wave count. Wow, it's the slowest zoom I ever saw in my life. This is D. This is E. Here's another miscalculation, in my opinion. Just looking at it instantaneously. What is the lowest risk Gartley entry here? This is X, right? I'm sorry, this is X. No, this has to be B. This is D. So X, A, B, C, D. Am I getting this right? E is the biggest amount of money you're going to make. Limit can be set around C to buy. But I thought E was the big, and this is how it can be very confusing. Because the whole point of Gartley, it seems to me, is that you're narrowing your risk window into this thing where this is A, B, I'm sorry, this is yeah, A, B, C, D. Isn't this the Gartley? Am I getting this wrong? A, B, C, D takes out B. It's a trap for the well, this does say bearish, right? But that's another problem I have with, yeah, we're at D now, right? We're at D now. So it's D to D. So I'm right. D to D, but like I said, I'm looking for these windows. Now here's a total failure to ever get filled on this. Yeah, this is a bearish D. So, right, this is, but now our exit needs to be, this is not a good setup because this is too big a range. Your first target needs to be here. I think the scalp needs to be like, you got to get out here. This is such a giant move. Like I said, this E is so ridiculous that we're going to need to see some more stuff before we start counting again. Are we going to count that as D now? So you're saying E's the big wave? We're going to come all the way. It's not going to be a straight route. It's going to be this crap. That's why I'm immediately looking at this going, well, this was the trade that you missed. Sure, you're going to start counting D, and then you're going to have to count D because maybe this is B of a big wave now, and now we're in D, and then it's going to come back. But if it's in an uptrend overall, if you're trading D, and this is bearish Gartley, but why would you be trading bearish when we're in an uptrend? I guess that's my other issue here immediately, is that, well, are we looking for trend continuation on this down? This is nothing but a correction, then we're going to go down here. All these zigzags need to be taken into account. There's no panacea. Okay, next chart. Now this one makes sense. This is a bearish Gartley, congestions. This is a properly done entry. You're trapping the bulls on the breakout of B. You spike into there, and this is the breakout failure. It never goes behind X, and your stop is behind X. And this is the ratio that you're looking for. This is not that break-even stuff these guys are doing. This is, you got to be here. It's your initial stop. Do not move it. You sell on limits here. You sell all the way up as far as you can into that, and you know where your master stop's at, or maybe you have a soft stop that goes to here, and then you're going to take your first profit on B and let the rest ride to the fair value, another thing to C, another to A, and another to, if this is going to be E, it's going to ride it all the way down, or you just hang in there for the whole damn trade. Now, it's better money management to scale out and just let it feather out and let it unfold and just be like, you know what, I'm not greedy. Maybe you ought to half reposition by the time you get to C. Who knows, right? Now, this one here is properly done. But with one exception for me, I already see a mistake here. If you're really going to trade this Gartley crap, get a line chart for God's sakes, is what I'm trying to say. This is X. Okay, people? Your stop's here. You start buying below B all the way to D. This is too ridiculous. Bullish Gartley? Yeah, you buy D, here's E, you ride it out. But this is the new D, and this is the new B. And then you write it down. Right? So it works. It works, but you can't say, and I guess you can, right? If you, oh, well, I got this big thing, but here's the, this is a D of some gigundous thing going on back in space, right? Back on planet Earth. Well, we're at some crazy D right now, right? And this is the new B floor. As opposed to B4, this is the B floor. This is floor B, the basement. In the old movies, when it had B, when I first got on an elevator, I go, what's B? That's the basement. Can't we have like -0? Can't we have -1? Like, why are elevators not like -1, -2, -3? No, it's B, B1, B2, but is B2 down further than B1? No, B2 would be the upstairs of the basement. So, it's tough, right? It's tough. But how to trade Gartley patterns, that's what this video is about, damn it. And I'm going to trade, I'm going to show, and this is for free, for people that trade Gartleys. All the Stapleton disciples will get this video, be able to make gobs of money. We want to trade E. We don't want to get it on D. So here it's obvious, right? Again, this is you have X. Where X is should be as tight as the line chart's going to tell you right off the bat. So we're going to go to line chart at the end of this drama. I'll show you real world examples just off the cuff. I have not rehearsed any of this. We fly by the seat of our pants here. This looks like a problem. Why is X down here? Shouldn't X be up here? I thought X was your stop. So, oh, bearish crab. See, now we don't need a bearish crab. This is another big flaw in Gartley. Stick to one pattern, please, people. Now this is the problem. See. Oh, it's a crab pattern, is it? Oh, God, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you have a manual transmission in your car? Okay, the other pedal is the clutch pedal? Oh, boy, can I rehearse before we go on a date? Oh, I have to drive you home because you're drunk? Oh, babe, you driving a manual, is you? What are you, guy, babe? Are you a man dude? A girl dude? What? How about the guy that goes for the sex change and gets his, gets 2 penises? What do you call those? Is that what's coming next? Dude, I'm so oversexed. I got 2 dicks. X should be up here, right? Forget that. Never go to the bearish crab. Okay, Gartley people, forget the crab trade. Because obviously, the crab trade, you want to be on C to ride D. In a lot of the stuff, you want to ride D. You're going to sell here, this crab pattern? Oy vey's mirror. Come on. Just keep it simple, man. Put X up here. Here's your window, D to the bud. But now you've fucked up the whole... How are you going to explain this to somebody? I'm going to buy a bounce off of B. I'm looking on this going, holy crap, we're in an uptrend. This is bullish. This is contrarian entry, the bearish crap. But you blew out the whole scheme of telling people, put your stops past X, people. And they go, but not in a bearish crab. There's a problem with this stuff. This is garbage too. This is stupid. This is bullish. Why are you waiting for these? It's not going to happen. Your target? Come on, man. You can't be drawing these Gartleys way out into outer space. This is ridiculous. This way, you're cherry pick. It's wrong. Oh my God. What do you do? Not even a line chart there. Lines. It's pretty, I get it. Okay, here we go. Classic Gartley pattern. Just trade Gartley patterns. Don't trade ciphers, don't trade crabs, don't trade batwings, don't trade mouse traps, don't trade... It's a mouse trap. Here you go, D. So we buy D, ease our money. Ease the quick and dirty money. Okay, oh, this is a nice projection. Now this makes sense. And this is multiples. This is really... Who's ever doing this thing? And this is the Gartley pattern blogs. This is very clean graphics here. I'll get my brain around this. Here you can see that you're going to buy limits below B here. So the questions are fine. It's all D. It's all good. And this even goes the extra mile where we can see how long our orders are going to last. So we have the deep orders that are going to last a long time, and these last a long time too, but in my world it's going to be like this. Like, you have orders sitting out here to pick up all this. Your master stop's always here. You go to sleep, let this thing fill up, whatever time frame you can withstand, and scalp to the B, and maybe it does. This is the reason why you got to scalp to the B, because maybe you're wrong. Maybe this actually is the new resistance, and it's just going to tank, and the whole pattern's going to fail. So you need to pay for the punishment, and then if you're lucky, we come up to the conservative exit of the retest to C, another conservative exit here, and the E wave that everybody's counting on these explosive patterns as we go screaming all the way back up. Okay, so let's go to the real world example. Let's try to dig out a chart here that has I'm gonna have to resize the chart because I'm doing the smallest capture I can on the video to get the right perspective. I want to get this as tight as I can on those graphics because I can't scroll through the Google stuff without having problems. So let me go to I want to keep this file small and concise. So let's go to the real world examples and let's find the Gartley patterns the way they're supposed to be done. And at least in my estimation, I think this is the earlier chart that I was ranting about this guy, Jason Greystone. And this is the exact same chart. Now let's look for the Gartleys here. Hopefully I'll be able to delete this. And so where was the entries? And without changing time frame, we don't need to go to the 5 minute to get our Gartleys here. This is going to be very easy. We're going to do A, B, C, D. We buy D, and we have a stop at X, which is 0, which is A minus. So we have to find X. Here's X. And seeing as how if we use the line chart and we just take this out, we're just going to go. We have to always be counting, right? Maybe this is X. In other words, if we're going to back test this, this is called hindsight. In a perfect world, if we said this was X and this was D, if this is D because this was B, so it's A, B, C, and this is where it's a problem already, because it would make sense to say this is D. And why is this D? Because it is the stop hunt for the guy, and when you turn on your candles, and this is why you need to see the stop hunt, or whatever you call it, is to go wax on, wax off with your analysis. So I just blew out that whole I don't know what the fuck I'm at in that chart now. So I deleted everything, but it's all the same, right? No matter where you go on here. How do we do these? How do we do this Gartley stuff? So okay, so I'm back testing Gartley patterns. we have to make assumptions as the market's unfolding. You have to be honest with yourself. So if we don't know what's coming, let's walk forward, right? So are we on some kind of, if this is B, and it's all pip dependent. See, the problem is it's pip dependent. If I come down here, it's a different world. Like, is this B to a broader something? You can't go back that far. You have to live here, right? It's a problem with Gartley. The people are extrapolating too far out. We're always going to assume, and this is if you're just trading pure money management, you're not going to worry about, well, where's X? Forget X. And they don't talk about, it's an ABCD pattern. So if this is B, this is D for them. But this can't be. Because what about all this stuff? Why aren't we trading this? You have to adjust. If you're really going to backtest Gartley, are you going to just go for and say, well, this was the biggest move. I should have been on this trade, so therefore this needs to be B. And now I'm going to stretch triangles to fit that. That's not right. A bullish Gartley is this. In essence, according to Gartley, this is X. You're only allowed to count A, B, C, D. This is X. This is... And you're screwed here. You're going to have to actually... This is A, B, C, D. This is B. You're buying here. You also have a top here. Another reason why, you know, for Gartley to really work. And here you don't get, if this is B and you're waiting for this to become D because you're waiting for that setup where you come in and you do trap people, this is X. This is A, B, C, D. You bought here, you scalped to here, you never made your glorious targets of E. This is supposedly D. This would be B, and this would be X. So this would be... And this isn't easy, people. This is like counting, like when you're playing music, if you have to actually count, you're in trouble. Did I just say 1 or am I 2? Well, we'll start on 1. No, we start on 3. You gonna start on 4? A, B, I already screwed it up. A, B, C, D, you sell. And since this is X, your stop goes here at X. You don't need to change time frames. If you do, you're in trouble. You're selling all the way. Well, no, this is not your D. You never make it. This is why it sucks. There's not a lot of trades. There's not a lot of trades that work out on Gartley. See the flaw? Why can't we just go with a top becomes a bottom? I'm sorry, this is supposed to be D, but is this B? Or is this B? Is this X? You're making this shit up. It's not right. Now, this is not... There is no ideal... Go with what's going on. I only see one Gartley on here, for God's sakes. This would be B. This is D. This is X. It's the only Gartley on the damn chart. They violate in the D. A, B, C, D. That's it. There's no Gartley here, people. This is A, B, C would have to go here. Now we've got to violate B. We're going to sell up into this, which would make sense. And we go down. E. And we got our bat wings. But holy God in heaven, you've got to instantaneously see. When you look at this thing, what you're looking for is a pullback. You're looking for, are we at D? Is it a D? You should instantaneously tell. And if this is, D's got to be here. This has to be B. And you want this to be as sharp and not look back. There should be no fluctuations. But how do you explain this double bottom? Well, that's a crab. Oh, it's a D off of the... You're going to get lost. Why try to idealize the markets? This is not D, because if this was B, we would have had a dip below, and if we did, it would have been a great trade. Do you see a D on this to sell? No. Unless this is your B, but then you see that's why you scalp to this and the trade's over. Unless you're willing to ride more crabs. To crabs into a... If you're really going to do this stuff, this is price over time. This is what's really going on. If you put candles on there and you're going to tell me, look at this cipher pattern. Holy God in heaven. What about this stuff? What are you doing about that? Why aren't you trading that? It's easier. Isn't it easier to just trade? We're going up, we're going down, we're going up, and just let it be. So, sorry I wasn't able to take Gartley to the real world without my brain hurting a little bit. Can you find some Gartleys in here? I mean real ones. Just like they showed you in that thing. I don't see any. I do not see an ABCD wave here. Does anybody see it? Please put in the comment line. Okay, here's a Gartley. Kind of. I guess I'm pushing it. But Gartley is the reversal pattern for RSI. There's not a lot of those trades. This is D. If this went slightly above B, if this is B and this is D and this is C, then this is E. This is the trend continuation. We're going to make money. And then people are going to say, well, but you didn't notice that was a crab trade? Are you kidding me? And in Wick world, I'm sure this is a D. So this would be A, B. I'm sorry. This is A. This is a perfect, almost perfect A, B, C, D. X is here. Your stop is here. You're getting in here. I don't think they're going to stop you out, but the ratios are no good. So why not just trade the market structure? Well, then I can't use my fancy Gartley concepts or my 2618 club. Here's a 2618 trade. Look at it, pulled back 26. How often does that happen? Not often enough for me to pay the rent. So sorry. So how about we just came back up into here and I just sold in a basket. Like I was saying, if you're going to really trade this stuff, you're always going to sell. If you think this is, hell, I don't even know. But this is just, you want to sell here, right? This is obviously got to be D on some other time frame. Switch time frames, lose your mind. Okay, so this would be, in Gartley entrance, this has got to be B for this to be D. But this can't be B. Because that would mean this is A, B, C, and this was supposed to be D. So don't tell me this, oh, but you don't understand. This is the D down here. No, I'm sorry. You lose. So, Mr. Greystone, why can't I use Gartley on a line chart when that's what really the market is? And why is Gartley? Oh, that's because that's the idealized thing. You've got to be envisioned on top of that, Shane. No, I don't want to. There's no money in that. There's money in structure. And they talk about structure all day long at this Stapleton stuff. But come on. There's the top become a bottom. Right? Huh? Draw a trend line. To manage all these complex zigzags, let the market form a doji. What is a doji? A doji is a flag, a triangle, a congestion. Duh. But what looks better to you? Drawing a line here, waiting for it to break. Are you gonna trade that breakout? Is there a Gartley in here? Sure, if you force it. I don't see a bullish Gartley to save my life here, and look at all that shit I missed out on. Look at that move. What are you, nuts? Well, they're gonna come back and tell me. I can already see them. You don't understand, man. If you draw a triangle down here, this is B. Okay, here's B. Yeah, but if that's B, and I bought D here, hopefully I scalped because there's another D that came up again. See? There's two Ds, two Bs. You can get so screwed. And not to mention, I haven't even broke out the fib tool. And I'm already like, dude, no way. Why don't you build a car that goes 0 to 1,000, and that's all it does. It literally cannot take you to get groceries because you just went past the grocery store. Well, really, it's a very fast car. Really, when can I use this car, by the way? Okay, well, I just want to warn you that you better have a lot of clear road in front of you. Yeah, you better have a bunch of money in your account. And I get why these guys now are like, I get it. It's all coming. I'm learning every day. So I'm learning. Gartley is ridiculous, and that's just how it is. Now, this would have to be... The only Gartley I see here is... This is B. A. I'm sorry. This has to be A. The count has to start here. For Gartley to work, A, B, C, D. They trap. Now they're going to tell me, but that's not. But you see what I was saying before, if you're still watching. That's wave 4 for Elliott. Gartley's D is Elliott's completion of wave 4. In Elliott's wave 4 means it's a continuation entry trade. Right? Mystery debunked. Elliott sucks too. The one thing Wyckoff does, and I said I put a link in the other one, but Wyckoff literally has charts that look like the real market. And he talks about, well, here you jump the creek. When we go up here, you jump the creek, you come back. You get in here. He gives this is the floor. You break the ice, you come back through. He tells the story of everything as it unfolds here. So if you're in a complexity worship, you're in a complexities, man, I'm telling you, Wyckoff's the way to go. But never forget, when you're looking at the market, you're going to have to just have a feel for what is fair and what unfair. You know, how do you know that you're witnessing unfair value? It's a huge move, either up or down. Huge moves, either up or down. Giant shaved candles mean something unfair is somebody's getting their face beat in. What to do about it? Well, if you're in the business of you're an ambulance driver, this is your gig. You're making money off of these kind of incidents, and you're also waiting for, like, okay, are they done? Are they stable enough for us to carry them? And that is how you're making money. So making money off these giant moves, or you're the Gartley trade looks like a continuation consolidation breakout strategy where you're trying to get in the lowest risk entry to trade wave E, which is supposed to make like 5 to 10 times your money, not these pussy targets of like, well, we're going to make double. No, you've drawn your triangles too big. flaw, right? And sure, Gartley works if you trade Gartley, but if you start to, go out into these wackadoodle extrapolations, then, forget about it. You just totally destroyed you bastardized it. And is this, here's the Gartley pattern. Now, it takes a while to catch this stuff, doesn't it? This is a pure Gartley pattern. It only happened once here. It did not play out the way it was supposed to. But you would have taken this trade if you're really a back tester and you're really honest with yourself and you look at this chart and you hindsight back test it. You're going to have to say that if this is D, it still doesn't work out. It still doesn't work out. If this is D, this has got to be B. So it's A, B. I already screwed it up. This has to be A. This is the problem. A could just be a little baby thing. And then you're going to tell me, well, that's a crab tail. That's a lobster tail? This has got to be B. C. D, you enter. It's a bullish Gartley. The A has to be, and this is where people are getting lost. You have to count this as A. Every wave you're counting. I traded for a long time. I try to trade Elliott wave. I said, well, we're either in 1 or 2. We're either in A or we're in B. What wave are we witnessing right now? Is this the A? Are we looking for a B? Are we extrapolating too far into the future? If this is D, that means that this needs to be B, but it can't be. But this is the entry you should have taken. But isn't it easier just to say, this is a big deal, this price? This is the trap? This is B, this is D. It doesn't count out right in the middle here. Well, that's a crab. No, it makes no sense. So, yeah, this is the only entry. A is the baby wave. Up. B, C, D. Enter here. Bang. E. That's where the money's at. So, sorry, doesn't work. It works, but rarely. Rarely. And it is not something that you can duplicate. Back test it? I forward test it. Okay, so where are we at now? Is this A? If this is X, you see why this is so stupid? This needs to be X. That's X. This is A. We need B to come to here somewheres after B is completed. We need to get C. And C comes up. Now we need to come back, violate B, trap the bears on B. This is D. We load the wagon with a stop below X, and forget this. The whole wave count starts over with last known. This is it. Not this is not X. This is X, and I'm going to ignore this sloping thing here because I'm going to give the pureness of the Gartley that this is A. And if this is D, we want to lock in here. We want to load the fucking wagon. And we want to trade scalp to the B. E. E is the, like, we're going to the moon, Alice, right? That's how you trade a Gartley. That's how you have to trade it, right? There's no other way. So, X, if this is X, and this is A, and this is B, this is C, this is D. That's the only way to get in on this trade. That's your, right here is your Gartley. Don't need to change. This is a 1 hour chart. No need to change. This is the only Gartley you get. But you have to eliminate. X has to be here. X can't be. God, this poor computer. This can't be X. This has to be X for this to be A, B, C, D, enter, trap, run, E, you're out. This can't be D. Because this whole thing needs to be D. And this needs to be C. And see how that's... How are you going to keep expanding and compressing this tool like that? You drive yourself crazy. Why don't you just buy this stop out here? Now, you have to keep flipping time frames. But if you're on this 1 hour and you only want to be in this trade and make that money and hit that target and be done with it. Now, on the daily, very few Gartleys. Go to the daily chart. Any one of these things. Are there any Gartleys on the daily? I'm going to guess. I'm just going to say no. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go way out into way outville. And this is what a Gartley pattern would really look like. In my humble opinion, my unhumble opinion, is that for you to maximize the bullish Gartley, it's going to be rare. I don't even see a trade on here. I just trying to in my mind, I don't see any zigzags that qualify. Maybe on the weekly. Anybody see a Gartley here? Hold up your hand. There's no places to get in on this stupid stuff. Doesn't make any sense. Geez, I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. I'm just being too. I'm asking it to work. Don't see any ABCs. I see like A, B, C, D, E, F, Gs. I see whole scale of drama. No, don't see any. Just don't see that ABCD pattern. ABC. No, still don't. I guess if you... No, doesn't exist. Sorry. Now, I know a lot of people are living in this world, and they'd be like, you can't see it, man? Like, dude, here's the B, here's the B, here's the D, here's A, B. Oh, I'm sorry. It still doesn't work. Oh, I'm sorry. A, B, C, D. You get into D. Here's B. Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Doesn't work, man. So, good luck with that. And I'm about to get hit by some, I don't know, I got a tornado coming here or some drama. Maybe it's just the neighbor spazzing out again, but good luck with that Gartley stuff. And love you to death. And thanks for tuning in. And step away from the Gartley, people. Stick with top, become bottom. Stick with trend lines. Stick with hit it and quit it, get the money, get out, and forget about all this Dreamville and all your pretty colors. You're just going to hurt yourself. You're just going to end up with more stuff to draw, more, and then not to mention I didn't put fib on there, so I saved you a lot of punishment, mental punishment for myself. Included the market's going to open in 1 hour, less than 1 hour, and we're going to trade this puppy. And I think I'll probably get like one of these demos going again and show this Greystone guy how you're supposed to trade based on not, you know, in out of context. Now that one site did have the drama that came before it, but it's just idealized, you know. It's the market's not looking at fibs, and it's not a perfect world, man. Because if it was, we'd all just see Gartley's popping all over the place and be pulling the trigger on that, right? And it's just this very rare. Bullish and bearish Gartley, and I guess Gartley is the king, the master thing. It wasn't ciphers, bat wings, crabs, or just broken glass, shards, triangles. I mean, just whatever wild ass thing you want to put on these things. But yeah, I guess it's entertaining. I mean, it's all good, right? I'm sure you're making money. I'm sure everybody that has a tight stop and has a realistic profit makes money, but don't attribute everything to your Gartleyness, because as you can see, it doesn't pass the smell test. It just reeks of like idealism and utopianism. I guess it's the utopianism taken to the markets.